Greetings from the Black Serpent Clan. This is Necro Cannon. Just wanted to give you guys a short video on telepathy and uses on the left-hand path. What I'm going to be doing is breaking down telepathy, giving a few examples, and then as well, I'll be giving you guys a couple of exercises of what you're able to do, so that way you will maximize your psionic potential. So to go ahead and get started, just to give you an explanation, not only can you read another person's mind, you can also see the thought forms that they create. With enough practice and determination, you will see your results. So, just to give you a form of telepathy, it's like when a family member or a friend, when their name pops up in your head, and or when you start seeing an image of them in your mind's eye, and then not too long afterwards, that's from when you either hear about them, hear from them, or you might up run across and you see them. That's because of the psionic link that you've created with that person, and because they're a part of your reality. Now, as well, because you exchange energy with that individual, and whether it's you talking to them, text messaging them, whether you've looked at them, whole 9 yards, all of that is an exchange of energy. Now, depending on the type and quantity of energy exchange also determines how receptive you and that individual are towards one another when it comes to telepathy. So basically, the more that you like an individual, the more receptive that you are and that they are. The less you like an individual, the less receptive that they are and the likeness too. So to go further in depth with it, basically think of yourself as a walking biological radio tower. And when you think, you're actually emitting your brain waves into the atmosphere that's around you. As well, your thoughts equate to your emotions, which is your vibrational current. So, of course, you know by how you're feeling is going to trigger how you're thinking. And then that's the type of brain waves that you're actually sending out as one vibrational force that's just stimulating from your emotional vehicle, in which triggers your thoughts. And then that's when your brain waves are sending it out. And then that's when you start altering the atmosphere around you. So that's the reason why, like when you walk into a room and you are able to pick up on the psionic energy of the room, or the atmosphere of the room is what people like to state, because of the bombardment of psychokinetic energy that's been placed inside of the room, and by not only the thought forms that are hanging inside of there, but as well from when people are broadcasting out their energy and their mental waves too. So, also to let you know, like without conscious comprehension, a lot of times you're tapping into the brain waves of that dimensional pocket, because each room in itself is its own dimensional pocket, is its own dimensional space. That is the reason why it has a door. That is the reason why it has four walls to each room, because that is its own individual pocket. No matter how you look at it, it's its own dimension. Just like when you step outside of your house, you're going into the world's dimension, but when you go into somebody's house, you're going into their individual consciousness, from how they have the house set up, the energy, whole 9 yards. All of that is its own individual dimensional space, just so that way you guys will have that understanding. And so as well, when you go into that space, you'll be able to, like I said, start sensing, and you'll start to be able to assimilate that energy that's in there, because you'll start picking up the vibrations. You're like, what's going on with me? You know, you're starting to actually feel the vibrations in the room, and then you start thinking those thoughts and feeling that way. Same as the reason why, such as a person that is an empath, they are highly receptive to that psychokinetic energy. And while they would say, you know, they get bombarded with a lot of people's emotions and thoughts, is because they're extremely receptive to that energy. And so what they will learn to need to do is how to transmute and modulate that energy. You know, basically when that energy is coming into them, or those thought forms, thought waves are hitting their biofield, to where they'll either have a reflective shield set up, so that way all incoming data will be bounced off of them, unless they have a filter system on the shield, so that way they can filter in whatever energy or whatever thought processes that they're wanting from the atmosphere to come in. Otherwise, they can go ahead and easily block that off, which is something else of which I will speak in greater detail at a later time. Now, let me go ahead and give you guys 2 exercises that you're able to do either by yourself or with a partner. first exercise is now to directly ping and or sending your brain waves to an individual directly, so that way they're picking up on your thoughts, and vice versa. They're able to pick up um, on you're able to pick up on their thoughts, and they're able to pick up on your thoughts. Sorry about that. So what you would do is you think about this person, see them in your mind, you hear their voice in your head, like you hear their distinct pattern. And to let you know, their voice is their distinct energy pattern. Because notice when you yourself is sick, and or when another individual is sick, that the vibrations within the voice oscillate, the frequency changes. It usually gets low, raspy, or it gets very high and raspy. Doesn't sound the same because that is your actual vibrational current. Once you're within good health, notice to where your vibration goes back to what it is and your voice sounds in accordance to it. So by hearing them in your mind and by seeing them in your mind, you're establishing a direct psionic link to them. Now, the more you focus, the stronger the vibration that you will send to them. So do this for about 5 minutes directly. Then after that 5 minutes, give yourself a moment. Then go ahead and rinse and repeat. Think of them very strongly. You might even say their name in your mind a couple of times and the like. Now, after a while, either your ears are going to start tingling, might get warm, or you might have a subtle vibration roll over you, and vice versa. That individual that you are consciously sending your energy to, they're going to have that same effect. Ear might start itching, might start tingling. Your name will definitely pop up in their head. And so after you keep doing that, give yourself a moment. I'd say don't do it no longer than 10 minutes. Give yourself the first 5 minutes to focus, meditate, send out that energy. Take about a good 30-second break, up to a minute, and then focus again. After you are done, what you will do then is you can either wait for them to contact you. You can contact them, and or you can wait until the point to where you're able to see them or actively go and see them. Then once you do that, ask them legitimately, did I run across your mind? Did my name pop up in your head? Or did you wind up having a conversation about me or the likeness? And there's a good 30 to 95% chance, based on your level of psionic energy that you're able to emulate outwards, that you will have your results. And so, like I said, this is something you can do by yourself or you can do with a partner, so both of you are exchanging energy. Especially if you're doing this with a partner, it will greatly increase your energy levels that you do have. And then, of course, with practice, it'll, of course, get stronger for you. So, for your second lesson, what you would want to do is you would want to have your partner hold an image in their mind. Have them see this image clearly and vividly, and it could be anything, just as about as clear as you're able to see this lighter, how you're able to see it in this video. I want you to see it. I want them to hold that image in their mind's eye. And then what you would want to do then afterwards is you want to focus on your third eye. You want to charge it with your energy by actively seeing energy start to formulate at your third eye. You might get a tingling sensation or a light pulsing sensation because you're focused on your third eye. So that way you will have it manifest its will for you, which is to send an energy beam to your partner's third eye themselves. And that is, of course, if they're next to you, such as how, the video's in front of me. If they're not, and if they're at a distance, then what you would do is in your mind, you would see your beam connecting to their third eye in your mind, and you need to see it very clearly. Also, relax and concentrate. Now, what you would want to do after sending them that beam and everything else to pull out the thoughts out of the mind, write down whatever it is that comes to your mind. Don't second guess yourself or the like. Just write it all out. Then share your experiences of what you've written down with your partner, so that way you can see your results. Do not get discouraged if you are not accurate within your first few attempts. Keep practicing, and eventually you will wind up having the accuracy of what you want. Even the most top psionicists, the top Individuals that use clairaudience, clairvoyance, they even have a maximum of a 95% chance, because there's always that 5% mischance. It's something that's inevitable of what us as scions we're all working on. So just like with everything, it will take work. Even as a vampire, for those that are within the vampire area, you use psionics. You use it not only to feed, but also to create the thought forms that you need for your work. Even when you have a specific target in mind, you can place thought seeds in their mind to be receptive of your energy and allow you to control it to a degree. Once you have mastered your psionic thoughts and energies and be able to place that energy into a person, you can wind up dominating them in totality. Once you understand mesmerism, thought projection, and light, those are things that I'll be bringing up in newer videos in different segments. But just to let you know, at night is when you're at your most powerful, because that is when energies are most subtle. Just like the energies of the day are very active, hustle bustle, always going on because of that sunlight. But once that sun goes down, everybody's cool, calm, relaxed, chilling out, everything else. That is when energy is more subtle for you to be able to use, and to where psychokinetic energy is a little bit more accessible for you. Unless you're of those type that actually take solar energy, such as myself, take solar energy, manipulate that, and then you'll also can use that energy to assist with your psionics, because you have a big ass battery in front of, big ass battery sitting there in the sky. So that depending on how you take in that energy is how you're able to utilize it. But yes, same instance as with the emulation before, you would send a beam from your third eye to your target. You see that beam going directly to them, and then you start implanting your thoughts. You start putting seeds in there. So like when certain actions, or if they hear a certain sound, or even like see a plane drive by, that would be the trigger of what would happen. So that way your thoughts will come to fruition. You want to program your energy as you're projecting it out. You program it by giving it your intent and your output of what you want. This is what your intent is, and this is what your desired result is, what you want it to be. So you mix both of those into that energy beam of what you're sending to your target, so that way they'd be very receptive to that. And then later on, like I said, depending on what trigger word that you have, when you see a plane fly by, just as an example, these are the thoughts that'll start going in your head. So, when they see a plane go by, they might start having thoughts or images of, skydiving and jumping, and start talking about it. Once you get that confirmation for yourself, of course, document it, write it down. That way you have your own little journal, so that way you can see what setbacks that you have, so you can make changes and like for it. That way you're able to progress forward. But by doing so, and then constantly by giving them those thought suggestions and everything else, after a while, once you trigger and you send a thought to them like this, they'll act upon it, because of the amount of energy that you're placing within the auric field, to the point to where you will vibrantly live within the auric field, so to speak. Just like there's times where you can invoke an individual, same thing like how you would invoke a deity, you would literally put that deity over you, so that way you would literally walk in their flesh or walk in their skin. You can do that with the individual as well. You can literally be a part of their consciousness and walk in their consciousness by seeing that individual be overlaid over you. You're seeing through their eyes. When you speak, you hear their voice. When you're talking in the likeness, you are literally invoking that individual. Depending on how receptive they are, most individuals that are very receptive, they will pick up on that like this. They'll say, okay, because name will start popping up in the head, energy shift will change, start feeling differently, speaking the whole 9 yards. All of that will happen. Best trust and believe me, you will see those type of results. But I just wanted to give you guys a little video on telepathy, its uses on the left-hand path, how you yourself are a walking radio tower. So just be mindful of the thoughts of what you're projecting outwards into the atmosphere, because those thoughts are going to come back to you. You're going to have that experience. Because remember, what goes out will come back. Same thing as what goes up must come down. And then what you put inside of your consciousness is what's going to come out in your actions, your words, your day-to-day experiences, and ultimately the reality of what you're living in. So just be mindful of your thoughts, continue to practice on your psionics, whether it's with telepathy, whether if you're learning how to biolocate, which is to consciously put your cellular structure in a different location and then apply your energy to that said location. That's going to take a lot of work, but it can be done, just as with anything can be done. But once again, this is Necrocannon with the Black Serpent Clan. Please like, share, subscribe the video, get this out so that way people will be able to learn. And if you have any questions or anything else, you can go ahead and leave your stuff in the comments section below. I'll gladly go ahead and answer it. If you're having any serious inquiries, please email me at necrocannon@gmail.com. I'll say that one more time, necrocannon@gmail.com. You can also catch my Instagram, necrocannon. And so those are the two platforms that I'm really on, is YouTube and on Instagram. So I'll be seeing all you guys there. I do thank you for your time. And like I said, once again, like, share, subscribe. But this is Necrocannon with the Black Serpent Clan. Reach your apotheosis.